Welcome back everyone. In this tutorial, we're going to talk about how to draw in isometric in AutoCAD. And for this tutorial, we selected a very basic schematic of a house to develop in isometric. The, the outcomes from this will be the isometric snap. We're going to learn that, and we're going to learn about ellipse. We've covered that in the past. However, in this tutorial, we're going to talk about an option within Ellipse called Isocircle. Of course, we're going to use a lot of layers, different line colors, line type, and so forth, and many basic draw and edit slash modify commands. Also, we're going to use hatch command. If you're new to this channel, and if you're new to AutoCAD, make sure to check out a playlist I have, AutoCAD Intro, where I'll take you from the very basics to a more advanced level topics. So the topics covered or examples are what is AutoCAD, what's the history of it, how to get AutoCAD for free, um, free CAD files, different CAD file types, and so forth. And towards the end, I'll show you how to develop a title block with a you know a custom title block with imported logo, and how to deal with viewports and with the scales, and how to prepare your drawing in the paper space for a proper printout. In this tutorial, we're going to talk about isometric drawing. So in this flowchart, you can see that there are many different type of projections that we can select to draw anything in a CAD software, including AutoCAD. And majority of these projections are they do look 3D, but they are drawn in 2 dimensions. Um, so the object on these type of projections, they look realistic. They look 3D, but you draw it in 2 dimensions, and I'll show you how. Yeah, only these two, first angle projection and third angle projection, that's where you develop multi-views of an object, whether it's an architectural type of drawing, mechanical, or so forth. Isometric projection among all these 3D looking projections is the easiest one to draw, and we're gonna pick that for this tutorial. Um, so let's say we are given this is a sketch, front view, side view, and these are the dimensions, just a schematic. You can assume this is 35 feet, and this is 25 feet high, and this is 46 feet, is the length. You can assume anything. I'm not sure what the units are. We can assume inch, but it doesn't matter. The unit can be anything. It's gonna be schematic. So we're gonna draw the basic of the house. At the end, we're gonna add some extra features in hatch. Okay. You can take a few more steps forward and develop this furthermore. If you have time, you can develop it. To make it more realistic. To draw it in isometric in AutoCAD, we gotta understand this concept that the object will be enveloped in a cube, but the cube is 2D, right? So this is drawn with lines. So in an isometric view, we are either working on the front view or on the side view or on the top view. As you see, the cursor is different from the front view compared to this cursor on the top view compared to the right side view. So in order to draw on the front view, that's going to be the cursor. Using a 5 key, you can switch to the top view and draw things in that view. Again, F5 key can switch the cursor to different views. So it's going to be a toggle key. So with F5, you keep pressing and you can jump from front to top to right and to develop your views. Okay. Of course, we're gonna use F8 key to turn on the ortho mode. Make sure it's on to make sure you're drawing in one of these views. Also, we can turn on the grid and snap to speed up drawing process. Okay. We're gonna start off with a template. I'll provide these in the description below the video, so that we will have all the layers that we need, as well as in the paper space. If you go to the layout, you're gonna have a viewport with a custom title block that you can utilize it for a proper printout. Okay, let's go to AutoCAD. We're gonna delete that. This is one of the templates, template NC inch. I'm gonna go ahead and save this and save it. Isometric Drawing, say version 2. Normally save it in a lower DWG 2010. Okay, so I've got plenty of layers. I might need to add an additional layer there. So as you see, the cursor is aligned with your XY, with your UCS, right? And that's your origin point, the intersection of XY. First off, we're gonna right click on the grid, click on grid settings. Then if you change the snap type in this section, grid snap, from rectangular to isometric snap, if you change that and press OK, you're gonna see your cursor changed. As you see, it's not parallel to your UCS XY, it's different. I'm gonna press F5 on the keyboard. As you see, it switched again. So I keep pressing F5. It's like a toggle key, so it's changing the cursor from, this is a top view, this is a side view, this is a front view. Okay. Now I'm gonna right click back on the grid and keep this isometric snap. Look at the snap Y spacing is 1/8. I'm gonna change the grid Y spacing as well to the same number, 1/8 or 0.125, and okay. I'm gonna turn on grid. Also, if you press F9, you can turn on snap. Okay, so snap is on, and grid is on, and for the time being, I'm gonna turn on ortho with F8 or just press here. So that's on as well. So if you click on line, as you see, you're snapping, right? If you zoom in, it's gonna show the smallest grid. As you see, it's snapping. It's snapping. Gonna undo that. Undo that. All right. So the cursors are like this. I'm gonna press F5. As you see, the cursor changed. Now I'm gonna work on the top view. So line, and I'm snapping to the grid because they are on. Snap to the grid and enter. Again, enter to repeat the line command. Snap there, okay, and you can draw something like that. So that's an isometric view of a T, let's say. So that's just an example. We're gonna go ahead with that introduction. Start drawing what we have here. We're gonna start from this geometry. Okay, gonna go ahead and select everything. You can erase that. Visible line layer is fine. I'm gonna switch with the F5 key my cursor back to the front view, and of course my grid, snap, and ortho is on. Grab line. Let's start from somewhere. Let's draw 2.5 and the height is 1.25. So 2.5, height is 1.25, 2.5, and snap back here. Okay. So that's this geometry here. I connected this as well. To draw these inclined lines in isometric, the dimension is given in this format. So if 12 is the length, 9 will be the height of this slanted line. It's instead of 9 and 12, you can use 3 and 4. So the fraction is the same, right? So 3/4 or 9/12 is the same. So 4, 3 or 12, 9, doesn't matter. So what I'm gonna do with line, press L, press enter, I click there and type this 4 and then 3, right? And then connect back. You can press F8 to turn off ortho so you can comfortably click there. So that's one of the lines. You can do the same thing, line, press enter. From this end, press F8, make sure you're drawing in this view, 4, and then 3. Then click back to this point. So that's geometry you want. You can go ahead and trim. You can go ahead and delete these extra lines. Okay. Alright, that's the front view of this geometry. Let's go ahead and this is the side view. So we know that so if this is 2, this is going to be 1.5 here. And the height is the same as 1.25. So let's go ahead and use line command. As you see, I'm typing the commands a lot because I'm used to it. I draw it faster that way, but you can certainly use these icons up here for line. You can click there, click there. I'm gonna press F5 to switch to one of the views. So it's right now it's top view. I'm gonna press F5 again. So this is a side view. 1.5, 1.25, and then connect back. Okay. It's good. Let's switch back to the front view so we can draw this section. L for line, press enter. I'm gonna press F5, and the length of this one is, so this, you can subtract this out of this. So that'll be 2.125. Move the cursor this way, type 2.125, okay. And then 1.25 is the height, then click there and press L again, enter. Using F5 you can switch to this view. The length of this is 2, and again F5, 1.25, and click back there. To draw these inclined lines, again the same type of dimension is given, 9, 12 or 3, 4, it doesn't matter. We're going to use the same methodology I demonstrated to you here. So let's go ahead and do that. So 4, 3, right? Let's go ahead and change the layer so that it doesn't confuse you. Line from here. If it's 4 this way, it's going to go 3 up. Then you can connect back here. I draw from this corner as well. L for line, press enter. From this particular point, if you come 4 this way, you go up 3, and then connect there. Now you can go ahead and trim. You can use this function as well, this icon, then delete these extra pieces. Then you can go ahead and select those, change the layer, visible line. Okay, now you don't need that. Alright, what we can do now, we can copy. Again, I'm using keyboard a lot, you can use copy here. It's the same thing, or type CO for copy. So copy, or escape out. I'm just typing CO for copy. That's the way I'm used to. Select the objects, press enter, specify base point from here to there, and escape. Use line, L for line, press enter. You can click from there to here, and from here to there. Okay. Now, we're gonna copy these two, press enter. That's a base point up to there. Enter to get out of the command. Use line from that endpoint to there. And from this endpoint to there. Okay. Now, let's see. We're trying to find how these inclined lines would be projected properly on this inclined surface, right? And to do that, so obviously these are not gonna be the lines you want, right? Because you're not projecting on a vertical surface. You're projecting these inclined lines on an inclined surface. So I need to copy these two to a point here. I need to find the distance from there to where this apex would be projected. So let's go ahead and see that. So what's the distance from this point to this point? So that'll be, so this is 1.5 and half of this would be 1. So that'll be 2.5 from this surface to this. So let's go ahead and copy this and this, press enter, select this point, move the cursor this way and type 2.5, press enter. Okay. So if you continue drawing this, so I'm going to press L, enter from this point, make sure press F5 so you can draw it this way. So you see this line is intersecting with this line, so that intersecting point is very important. I'm going to go ahead and change my layer to visible using line command, and that intersection is important. You need to connect that point to here. Okay. Now I can go ahead and delete all that, and I can turn that line into visible line, and I can go ahead and connect that point to this. Okay. I might need this. I'm gonna change those to a different layer viewport. Okay. Now, of course, that's gonna be invisible line, and this will be in this layer. So we got part of we got the overall of this geometry. Okay. Let's go ahead and develop the chimney. So for chimney, we know this distance from the front to this surface. So from here to here is 1.438. Also the height from the very base to the top of the chimney is 2.5625. So we're gonna go ahead and try to find the midpoint here at the very top. Okay, so 1.438. I'm gonna go ahead and delete these two, and I'm gonna go ahead and copy. Press enter. That's a base. Press F5. Move it this way, and the distance 1.438. Okay. So those are part of these two edges there. So we're gonna, okay, so 2.5625, 2.5625, 5, 2.5625, press enter. Okay, and then the distance 1.438. Okay, so that's the top point there, and then we have 0.375 is the width. You can draw somewhere up here, a 5.375, enter. Also, we know that the length of the chimney is 0.625 with F5, 0.625, 0.375. Then we can click there. Also, we can draw this 0.03, 0.0938. Okay, what we could do 0.938, 0.0938, right? So we've got that point, 0.0938, 0.0938. We got that point. You can go ahead and draw this. You can go ahead and I'm gonna press F9 so it doesn't snap to the grid. Okay, I can go ahead and trim extra pieces. Delete that, and then I can go ahead and move. Press enter, base point, and right there. Okay, so that's the top of the chimney. Then that's the point we had found early on. You can change the layer to a different one so they're not very confusing. We can go ahead and draw a line from there. Press F5. Okay, from this point. Okay, let's use trim. Okay, line command. All right. Line command again. Trim. As you see, it's shaping up. And we need a line there for this edge. You can go ahead and trim. And can go ahead and hide these extra lines by hiding this layer. Alright, that's the chimney. So if you have the time, you can go ahead and add extra features. You can add a window here, you can add a garage door here, you can add a door here, for instance. Gonna press F5 and line command. These are schematic, so you can go ahead, draw a schematic door, another line up there, press F8. And you can continue with this. One thing I'm going to show you is ellipse with Isocircle. So in isometric, to draw a circle, we actually use ellipse. So, but this option wouldn't give you that isocircle, but either one of these will give you isocircle. So, or you can just simply type here EL for ellipse, press enter, and as you see, Isocircle is one of the options. I is highlighted. You simply type I for Isocircle, press enter. It's asking for center. You can go ahead and select the center. If it has to be accurate, you gotta put some coordinates, but for this case, it's a schematic. You can use F5 again, as you see. The circle will be on different either front, top, or side view. In this case, this is correct. Go ahead and draw that. I'm going to repeat this again. We can press enter for ellipse, I for isocircle. You can go ahead and select the center, and that's the isocircle you want. Okay. Or as I mentioned, you could use either one of these two. I'm going to click on that. Type I for isocircle. Let's go ahead and draw one here. Press F5. And that's what I need right there. Let's go ahead and draw some sort of garage door here. Press F8. And again, to be accurate, you gotta put coordinates as you saw for the rest of the geometry. You can go ahead and press F5. Say draw that, some sort of window. You can go ahead and draw isocircle with ellipse. Press I for isocircle, center, and there. Again, another one. I for isocircle, center, there. Let's go ahead and trim. Alright, and lastly, we're gonna use hatch. I'm gonna press F7 to turn off my grid. Go ahead and create a layer called hatch. Click on new, type hatch. Make sure your line weight is default for thin. You can go ahead and change this to some sort of gray. And okay. Click on hatch. You have a lot of patterns here. You can use brick for where it's gonna be brick. Let's go ahead and do that. So if you select here, that's what's gonna look like, okay? And you have some options here to change the angle and scale. So I'll change the scale to, let's say, 0.25, and the angle, let's go ahead and change it to, say, 30, and good. Press enter. Go ahead and select that and change the layer to my hatch layer. Okay. You can also uniquely change the color. Instead of by layer, you can change it to some sort of brick color, like that. Okay. If you add a new hatch, let's say I'm gonna add one more here. What you can do, I skipped out. What you can do, you can match property of this to this. Okay, something like that. Also, you've got a lot of other options as far as pattern. You can select solid. Let's say you pick those two surfaces there, and so those are going to be black. Okay. And you can go ahead and add additional hatch as you need it for the front. Let's go ahead and add brick for this and for this. Make sure your your pattern is brick. I'm gonna change the angle. Let's say -30. Yeah, that looks good. And escape out. I'm gonna select that. Go back to home and change my layer to hatch. Also, you can click on that and change the color to some sort of brick color. Okay. And lastly, we're gonna go ahead and select the roof. Make sure you do not pick an open area. You gotta pick a closed area. These sections. And the pattern for those, you can pick something for the roof that makes sense. If you're using shingles or tiles, and whatever works, shingles, for instance. And you can go ahead and change the color, change the scale, let's say to 0.15, let's say, or 0.2. It makes more sense. And close. And you can continue with this, for the other areas. All right. If you go to layout, you can go ahead and double click in the viewport area, double click out, double click in, make sure you have a proper scale. If you draw it to the true size in model space, you can assign a scale in the paper space. Double click out, and this is ready for printout. Okay. All right, that's all I want to cover. I hope it was useful for you. To support the channel, please like and subscribe. Thanks.